How many total prospects do I need to reach my sales goal? This is the number one problem that I see when it comes to marketing and prospecting is most businesses just don't have enough prospects in the pipeline to reach their sales goals. Guys, this is all part of the 100 customers, 100 new customers in 60 days program that we have at Inspire Nation Business Mentoring. Check us out at www.inspirenation.org. Guys, most salespeople are absolutely shocked when they do the math and realize how many prospects their team needs to talk to just to have a chance at reaching their sales goals. The numbers that I'm going to talk about next, guys, they've stood the test of time for over 100 years. Now, they may not be exact to your business, and they're going to be pretty close. They're going to be pretty damn close. But here's one thing I'll tell you. If you use the formula and you actually get the number of prospects in your pipeline, you will never miss your sales goal. I mean, never miss your sales goal. So that's something to think about. Let's walk through this. First, I got to tell you about the three types of leads: cold, warm, hot. We all know about them, right? Well, a cold lead means that this is a person or a company or whatever you sell that's not currently interested. They did not request information. They've taken no action to indicate interest, and they have to be convinced to become a warm lead. And then there's a warm lead. These are people that have shown some interest. They've either initiated or responded to a marketing or prospecting campaign, and they know that it's important, but it's probably not a priority. That's why they're a warm lead. A hot lead, on the other hand, has shown a buying intent. They have a strong interest or desire for your product or service. They may have an urgent need for your product or service, and they're making a purchase of the product or service a priority, not just important. And this is a big deal. A lot of people will chase cold leads, calling them warm, or they'll chase warm leads, calling them hot. Hot means I'm ready. We usually say within 72 hours or something. I mean, it could be different for your industry, but we're saying this is a person who not only understands the importance, but they've made it a priority to get your product or service or a similar product or service in place as soon as possible. Cold, warm, and hot. It's important. We're going to focus on three main sales formulas: lead to contact, which is the total amount of prospects I need to be able to contact in order to talk to someone about my product or service. This is that big pool that's just sitting out there. Then there's contact to quote. All right, I went through a whole bunch of rigmarole, as us Southern folks say, in order to contact you, and now I've got to convince you to quote. And so this is the total number of contacts that will agree to get a quote or a proposal. Then there's quote to close. This is the total amount of quoted people or quoted prospects that will agree to buy my product or service. So lead to contact, contact to quote, and then quote to close. The math behind the 100 new customers in 60 days is this: your cold leads have a 3% contact percentage, a 3% quote percentage, and a 30% close percentage. That means if I'm calling 100 people, only 3% of that 100 will I actually get in contact with. Out of the 3% I get in contact with, another 3% will agree to get a quote. And then from there, 30% of the people that agree to get a quote, I'll probably end up closing. Warm leads, you've got a 30% contact percentage, a 30% quote percentage, and then a 30% close percentage. On hot leads, you have a 70% contact percentage, a 70% quote percentage, and then a 70% close percentage. And you're like, well, wouldn't that be 100? No, you guys all know there are people that are like, I'm ready, I'm ready. And then all of a sudden you call them, can't get in contact with them. They won't call you back. They won't email you back. They won't text you back. So 70%. Let's look at cold leads first. Again, they have a lead to contact of 3%, a contact to quote of 3%, and a quote to close of 30%. So to figure out how many total cold prospects you'll need to reach your sales goals, going all the way from lead to actual close, we just apply the math. 3% times 3% times 30%. That gives us 0.00027. So then we just apply the math. Desired sales goal divided by 0.00027 gives us the total number of prospects to reach our desired goals. So in this case, since we're talking about 100 new customers in 60 days, we're going to use 100 as our sales goal. So 100 divided by 0.00027 is 370,370 total prospects. I know you guys are freaking out already. 370,000 guys. These are cold. These are people that will see your product or see your ad or see your marketing. So you don't have to actually talk to 370,000 people. You need to put your marketing, your prospecting, your promotion in front of 370,000 people. And that could be, using social, that could be using TV, radio, whatever it is. But we know that number will automatically get you the number of sales that you want. So you're not freaking out. Let's concentrate on quotes. How about that? We just really concentrate on that lead to contact and then contact to quote. So we cut out that third number. Now, if we cut out that third number, now we're down to 0.03 times 0.03, which is 0.009. So now, if we apply that 100, we're down to 111,000, right? 111,000 prospects. Remember I told you people freak the hell out when they go, Billy, these numbers are unrealistic. No, they're not unrealistic. Everyone knows that we have a 3% close. Contact to quote. Lead to contact. Everyone knows that we're about 3%. You mail out 100 postcards or you mail out postcards, you only expect to get 3% back. You send out a drip email, you only expect to get 3% back. It's just once we apply the numbers and you see how big the numbers are, then people freak the hell out. It's okay, guys. I'm going to break down for you, not on this particular training, but in the total 100 new customers in 60 days, I break down day by day, step by step, action step by action step, what you need to do to reach those goals so you're not overwhelmed by everything. All right, so we're going to work from this 111,000. That's what we're looking for. So everything we do is going to chip away at that 111,000. Now, if we're really good, we're going to get that 370,000, but we're going to work with the 111,000 so we're not freaking out, okay? But that's cold. This is just me putting my stuff out there. So you guys that are buying 100 cold leads and calling it and emailing it and texting it and say, oh, these leads suck. No, the leads don't suck. You just aren't doing the volume of leads that you need, or you're doing the wrong type. So if you guys are trying to build your business on cold leads, that's a lot of work. How about we move to warm leads, okay? Warm leads are leads such as former customers, quoted not sold, people that responded to marketing, things like that. So a warm lead knows who you are. Remember, a cold lead has no idea who the hell you are. A warm lead, they know who you are. They may show some interest in what you're doing. So warm leads close, their lead to contact is 30%. Their contact to quote is 30%, and their quote to close is 30%. So if we were going to figure it out, just apply the math. 30% times 30% times 30% is going to give you 0.027. So we're looking at 100 new customers. We go 100 new sales, that's what we want, divided by 0.027 is going to give us 3,703 total prospects. So now we just got to talk to 3,700 folks in order to get our 100 sales. But again, we're going to focus on our quotes. We're not going to focus on the lead to close. We're going to focus on the lead to quote, because that's where most businesses are really going to see the biggest impact. I know you track quote to close, Okay, I'm not stupid. I know what you guys are tracking. You're tracking your how many people did I talk to and how many of those closed. But if you go back one step further and you track how many people did I try to talk to, how many did I contact, and how many did I close, now you'll realize that I need to market more. I need to prospect more. We need to do more outbound, more inbound, more everything. So let's not focus on the all three of the numbers. Let's just focus on two. So in this case, we're going to focus on the lead to contact, which is 30%, and then the contact to quote, which is 30%. So that's 0.3 times 0.3, which is going to give us 0.09. So now if we take that 100 divided by 0.09, now we need 1,100 total prospects. Okay, 1,100. And that's a big difference than looking at 3,700. This is why referrals are so important. This is why getting Google reviews are so important. This is why creating business referral partners are so important. This is why taking the leads of the people that you quoted in the past and you didn't quote them, you saved their information because they still know who you are. They understand your importance. They're a warm lead, not a cold lead. So we can knock down that 111,000 or whatever we were looking at, knock that down to 1,100 simply by talking to warm leads versus cold leads. Okay. And again, I'm not going to go over it on this training, but if you guys get the total training, we go day by day and break down all the action steps that you need. I mean, when I say day by day, I'm talking campaign, by action step, by step, by tool, by everything to make sure that you have everything you need so you can get your 100 new customers in 60 days without going broke to do it. So those are our warm leads. Let's talk about our hot leads. Now, these are the folks, man, we want those. So we want to move them from cold to warm to hot. Hot, 70% contact rate. You're not going to get 100% of them, but you'll get 70% of the people that you call or that you email, they're going to respond. Your quote, you're going to get 70% of the people who are like, yes, I need this now. You're going to get 70% of those people that are going to allow you to quote them. And you're going to end up closing around 70% of those folks. So again, taking the numbers, 70% times 70% times 70% is 0.343. So that means if I'm looking at hot leads and I need 100 sales, so that's 100 divided by 0.343 is going to give me 291 total prospects. That's all I need. And if I'm not really focused on the actual close, but I'm focused on more on the lead to quote, which is really where the power is in the lead to quote. If I'm talking to enough people, I'm going to close people, pure and simple. If I'm focused on that, then that number actually drops down to 0.7 times 0.7 or 70% times 70%. And now that number is 0.49. So if I need 100 sales, that means 0.49 or 100 divided by 0.49 is going to give me the folks that I need, which is 204 in this particular case. So if you notice on your hot leads, there's not a huge difference, not an extreme difference between my using all three of my numbers, going from lead to close versus from lead to quote. But there's some difference, still a difference of 80 something leads here that I need to deal with. So guys, this is what it takes for you to hit your numbers. Okay. This is really what it takes. So let's go through this one more time because a lot of people freak out and they go, oh, there's no way. Let me just break the numbers down for you. Your cold leads, you're going to contact 3% of your cold leads. No matter what method you're using, whether you're postal mailing, calling, emailing, you're going to get about 3% of the people to respond. Of the 3% that respond, 3% of those will let you quote them. Of the 3% that let you quote them, 30% will close. That's if we're using cold campaigns. Warm leads, 30% of the folks that you try to reach out to, you will reach. 30% of the ones that you reach will let you quote them. And then 30% of the ones that you quote will close. For a hot lead, 70% of the people that you try to reach, you'll reach. 70% of the people that you reach, you'll quote. And then 70% of the people that you quote, you will close. That's how the numbers work. So looking at this, What are some campaigns? Some cold, some warm, some hot. So cold, if you're using social media marketing, that's cold. People never heard of you. Outbound cold calls, you just buy a list and start dialing it. Postal mail, you're mailing to an area. They don't know who you are. Facebook ads, radio, billboard, local events that you're sponsoring. Those are cold leads. And you need to be in front of a large audience in order to make those work for you. Warm leads, cross-selling your current customers, quoted but not sold prospects, former customers, referrals from referral partners, networking events, using SEO, search engine optimization, so people respond to your search engine optimization results. So they're calling you based on SEO. They're filling out a form. They're contacting you. They're texting you. They're stopping by your office based on SEO. That we consider those warm, even though you may have never talked to them. We consider those warm because they know who you are. They understand what you do. They understand your importance, right? That's why they reacted to it. And then there are hot leads. Hot leads are people or businesses that have given a designated time frame to buy your product or service. I need this in place by next week. I need to get this closed by the end of the month. I need to get this closed in the next few days. So they understand the importance and the priority. Guys, if you will build your marketing around these numbers, you will never miss your sales goal. Yeah, that means you have to bump up your marketing a lot more, right? But I'm going to show you ways that you can do it without going broke. Okay, that's the next part of this training. Thank you guys for being here. I absolutely appreciate it. This is Billy Williams with Inspire a Nation Business Mentoring. You guys have a great day. Oh, before I go, make sure you keep up with us on the web at inspirenation.org. Check out our webinars, our conference calls, our live events. We have a reality TV show called Insurance Investors that's on YouTube. You can check it out. We're going to do roadshow style in-person events all around the country. So make sure you keep up with us and what we're doing over here at Inspire Nation. Okay? All right, guys. That's it for me, Billy Williams, Inspire Nation Business Mentoring. Let's get 100 new customers in 60 days. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.